Oh, I wish I wasn't. All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Freebie Friday. Thank you for tuning in to another one this week. I didn't put one up last week. Last week was just absolutely crazy. My first week in school, it was just a little too hectic. So thank you for tuning in this week. I hope that you find this Freebie Friday helpful for you. Today, we're going to talk all about strategizing. So I was debating whether or not to do a recipe or to talk some behavior shit, so I decided to go the behavior route because next week I think I'm going to be giving you guys a recipe. But anyways, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning back in. I want to share with you some tips for pushing yourself in the right direction. So these are all going to be stemming from my own experiences and what I have felt has worked for me, and some of the things that I've learned throughout my coursework that I'm currently in for applied behavior analysis that is helping with the behavior and the mindset piece. So number one, the most important thing that you can do is to come up with a plan. I know that sounds very simple, and it is in a way, but you have to kind of know how to go about it. So it depends on the type of person that you are, but coming up with a plan is number one. So in terms of strategizing, coming up with a plan day by day or coming up with a plan at the beginning of the week is all dependent on how you want to go about things. So maybe you're the type of person that needs things all laid out for you in advance. Then I would suggest whatever day your week starts on, mine starts on a Monday. So Sunday night I'd sit down and I would completely hash out what I am going to do. Every morning throughout the week, I start with my mornings. So I say, okay, Monday morning, this is going to be how my routine goes. I start my morning routine, which is wake up, chug 16 to 24 ounces of water before I even touch my coffee or my caffeinated beverage, whatever I choose to be drinking. And I make sure that I get myself in a hydrated state, because when you wake up, you're in a dehydrated state. So I do that first thing, and then I sit down and I'll go through my emails. Now, a lot of people might say like, oh, why do you jump right on the computer and start rifling through emails? That is just personally what I like to do. It calms me down. I know that, I'm not necessarily doing client check-ins first thing in the morning, but I am going through my emails and seeing what I have, to respond to, or what I have going on in my day, particularly with work and school. So I get that out of the way, and then I sit and I'll do some journaling. So I'll do some self-reflecting. This usually takes about an hour and a half for me. As I'm journaling, I will also be simultaneously making coffee, and potentially, if I'm not doing a fasted cardio session, I will cook my first meal. So that all depends, but usually it's like an hour and a half, and it really sets up my day. I feel like as soon as I start my morning routine, I am in this great state of mind. So that is one of my tips, which I feel like will help you mentally kind of start your week, start your days, however you decide to do it, whether you just, like I said, decide to do it day by day to plan it out, or you decide to do it a week's worth in advance, like however you prefer, just make a plan for yourself. I personally don't tend to plan out my entire day with what I'm doing, because I'm a teacher and a student, so it kind of changes, and a health and fitness online coach, so it kind of changes day by day. But I know what my client check-ins are going to be, so I always make sure that I'm writing those down in advance. I know what days particular clients are checking in with me, so I make sure that I have those all written down on a calendar. This is a lifesaver, desk calendar. And I also have a whiteboard calendar that we haven't set up yet, but my husband and I kind of keep track of our finances with that, which is super helpful. But yeah, I don't typically plan what I'm doing every day, but one thing I do, and this is leading me into number 2, is to keep me on track with my meals and my weight loss goals. I track my meals in advance. So I don't track my entire week in advance, but I always track my meals the day before if I'm trying to stay super strict with my dieting. Right now, I'm kind of in limbo, personally. I'm kind of comfortable with where I'm at weight-wise. I don't want to be like overdoing it with like a weight loss cut. I'm not at that point right now. Like, if I lose a few pounds, great. I don't really want to gain anything, but I'm kind of happy with the middle ground. So I haven't been super, super strict. I'm sure you can tell through my IG stories that I have been indulging a little bit here and there, and I'm fine with that. But if you are somebody who is in a cutting phase of your diet, or even a bulking phase and you really need to keep track of what you're eating, I would suggest putting everything into an app like MyFitnessPal or My Macros Plus, or what is another one? Oh, it begins with an E. Evolve, maybe? I can't remember. But putting everything into the app the night before so you know exactly what you're going to be eating that day. Now, a lot of times people meal prep in advance. That's going to bring me to number 3. But before I get there, if you've meal prepped, you obviously already know what you're eating in advance. So my suggestion to you is, so that you don't need to worry about plugging it in as your day goes on, plug it in advance. So you don't even have to think about MyFitnessPal. It's already in there and your meals are already set for you. You already know what you're doing. You don't have to think about anything, because sometimes that causes stress for some people. But leading me into number 3 to make sure that you're staying on track with your goals and strategizing for your goals is nutrition. So meal prepping in advance has been a huge lifesaver for me. There are some people out there who can prep their foods as they go. I am not one of those people. I haven't met too many of those people in my time coaching. So planning meals in advance has been super helpful, aka a meal prep Sundays. It's been great. Every Sunday I will designate time for meal prepping and I plan out what I'm going to be having throughout the week. Over the summer months when I'm not in a classroom working every day, I have been, and I'm not super strict with my dieting right now. I've kind of just been eating whatever kind of I feel like it. So I haven't been super strict, but, and cooking like on the spot, on the fly. But during the school year, I can't do that. I'm very busy and I don't have the ability to do that because I am away at work all day. I don't work from home from the months of September through June. So I don't have the ability to just cook on the fly. So I have to prep in advance. And Sundays have been a great day for me to do that because my weeks start on Mondays. So that limits a lot of stress for me as well when I'm trying to really stick to my goals strictly. And then another tip for strategizing is batching out the things that you need to do. I learned this in some of my mentoring programs that I have gone through in the past leading up to my opening up my online coaching business. And it is so helpful to batch out the things that you need to do. When you think about what you need to do throughout the course of your week, for example, I'm not going to bring this from a business perspective. I'm going to take this as a student perspective. I have been so on point with my schoolwork because I've batched out what I need to do. These classes are super rigorous, so I have batched out exactly what I need to be reading each day. I'll say, I'm going to spend an hour on this reading, and then I'm going to do some practice tests. I'm going to do an hour or a half hour of flashcards, my SAFMED cards, and then I'm going to spend time, working on my paper. So there's batching out work per day and designating specific tasks to each day is huge. Now, a lot of you are in fitness and nutrition. You're not students in graduate programs. So let's take this into the fitness realm. So batching out can also mean laying out what you want to do throughout the week for your workouts. So, depending on what kind of split you're doing, you might be doing legs one day, you might be doing upper body another day where you're doing, back and chest, or you're doing, bis and tris another day, you're incorporating abs here and there. So writing that out on a calendar like this is going to be hugely helpful. It takes away a lot of the guesswork with this kind of stuff. So those are really some tips that I wanted to share with you guys in terms of strategizing to keep yourselves on track and on point, because so many people fall off track because they get stressed out, they don't have a plan of attack, so they're doing things on the fly, and then they start making poor decisions. And they don't know how to plan things out, or they don't know how to set goals for themselves. And it's not an excuse to not know how to do something, because the internet so much is at our disposal. So much is out there for free. I'm giving you this information for free. I Google information every single day for free. There's so much out there. Granted, you need to siphon through a lot of it and really be able to parse through the text that's out there, make sure it's credible. But there's so much out there that it's not an excuse to just say, I don't know how to do this anymore. there's so much at our disposal. It's just a matter of, are we willing to learn it? And as soon as I was willing to start learning these things and start learning how can I strategize better, how can I set up my days better to ensure success with my goals, it was chaos before that. But I feel so much better mentally and ultimately physically because I'm doing things that are helping my body. So to a point, like I said, this summer I'm not really being super strict with my fitness and nutrition goals, but I want to be able to give you guys the stuff that's worked for me in the past and stuff that I'm going to start implementing again come the school year. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this Freebie Friday. I'm trying to keep it rather short because I don't want to, I don't want to create something wicked long that you guys need to sit through. But I hope that you guys enjoyed that. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out to know that it's content that you want to keep seeing. So anyways, thank you again for watching yet another Freebie Friday, and you can stay tuned for next week. I'm going to be doing a recipe freebie for you guys. It's going to be all geared towards low carb. Tasty, but low carb. So stay tuned for that for next week. If you want to be updated when that video comes online, please subscribe to my channel. Click down the red button down below and make sure you're subscribed and you'll be updated as I continue to post things each week. So again, I'm sorry for last week. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get a freebie up there for you guys, but I was super, super busy. Not an excuse, but first week of school and it was crazy. So anyways, thanks you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.